There we go. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and change the stream title real quick, and then once I do, we will go right into Mega Man X. Give me one quick second, just change the game title. There we go. Oh, hang on. I'm trying to get back to my thing here. Okay, so talking a little bit about Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting. Yeah, no, this is still very much a classic. It's very much a fun game to play. You do have to have the skill, like every fighting games is like the skill ceiling is pretty high, and there's a lot of different characters to go through, of course. But I confess that as much as I enjoy the odd fighting game from time to time, I am not good at them. So this is pretty much just judging about the gameplay of it compared to like modern fighting games, and it's still a solid way to the game to come back to. You know, Street Fighter 4 was based off this game very much so, and 5 to some degree. So even coming back to this, it's still very much fun to play. I would say the turbo version is a lot more enjoyable because that higher speed. It does mean your reaction time has to be faster. I will say that. So if you're a newcomer, you will want to play normal, just kind of like get the feel of how to play the game long term. But if you do want to just enjoy the game, I think turbo is the way to go because the speed is just so much faster and it just makes it that much more enjoyable. Yeah, no, definitely still a fun game, though I will not recommend playing this with a Super Nintendo controller because, again, if you're doing inputs, it's not difficult to do, but the thing with these control pads is they're not the softest. So when you're trying to do your inputs, it's hard. Like you compare it to like a later system, I don't know, that has much more comfortable D-pads. You'll have a much more enjoyable time just playing with those versions. So I guess all this to say, even though I didn't play for very long, I kind of already have a good feeling of how Street Fighter 2 is. The game holds up. The game holds up, and which version of Street Fighter 2 you really enjoy is going to be mostly a matter of preference, because each one has a different I'm not gonna say mechanics. That's not the right word. What's the word I'm looking for? Balance. It has different balance. That's the word I'm looking for. Some games, the bosses are just overpowered, and you could just have fun just like playing with that nonsense. You could do it as a handicap with like I don't know. If you're really good at the game, maybe you have a sibling or a friend that's like really bad. You could play with the overpowered. You could play with the underpowered characters, and the one that's not as good at the game could play with the overpowered boss characters. It's just an example, but yeah, if you're going to play Street Fighter 2 Turbo, play it with a controller that's actually comfy. Fortunately, you have no shortage of options there. It's on Switch, it is on PlayStation 4 and 5, it is on Xbox, and all those versions are compatible with fight sticks if you have them. So you have ways to play this game comfortably. I mean, for what it was at the time, this Super Nintendo version, it was the only way to play that and the Genesis version with the D-pads were the only way to play these games at home. So I plotted for that. But there's way better ways to play Street Fighter 2 these days, and I would recommend doing that. So to close off with this, I will say Street Fighter 2 holds up. These older console versions do not. I think it's if you grew up playing the Super Nintendo or Genesis version, there's going to be a lot of nostalgia there for you to play this version of it. But if you want to just actually have fun with it beyond the nostalgia, play the later versions of it. They still hold up to the classics, and a lot of them even have online play. So you can not only just enjoy your classic game, but even play against people constantly with the online features. So yeah, Street Fighter 2 Anniversary Collection, Street Fighter Anniversary Collection is what it's called. You can get that on every console. Play those versions. Don't play the Super Nintendo or Genesis version unless you have nostalgia for it, because it hurts your thumbs. All right, so that is